Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to KF&JF podcast. I tell you again, we've been on the move, pulling up these entrepreneurs out there that are at these pop-up tents and everywhere else that we can find them. And we're so happy today to have a guest on our show that is really gonna sweeten up everything that we, love in life. And you know what that is. But I'm gonna let her explain that to you. But again, I want to thank you guys for coming out, and I also want to thank you guys for subscribing to the podcast and going to Joy Beloved and making those purchases and allowing us to be able to bring new guests to the show each and every week. And I just cannot thank you enough for that. And I really do appreciate it. Also, I want to make sure that you guys also understand that we want to make sure that you guys stay involved in the show. So make sure you tune in once a week and take a look at what we got coming up new. But first of all, let's take a look and introduce that co host again.
Hello, everybody. I am the CEO and founder of United Minority Business Ventures. My purpose is to help small businesses grow. I assist with the creative process and maintenance of your business. The method to achieve results is simply building a deeper relationship with your customers. We do this by forming opportunities to communicate and collaborate with your followers, subscribers, and other business owners. We do this by using a wide range of networking tools. We have an understanding for building your marketing profile, social media marketing, figuring out your marketing strategy, building your financial profile for your business, or helping you with branding your product or merchandise. We may also determine what licenses are needed to operate your business, owning your domain or buying into pre existing sites that host your page. We also like to drive traffic, and that we do this by managing your website. And by doing this, this allows us to frequently select posts that create subscriptions, comments, and likes. We also assist by generating comments on other individual business sites or page that create a dialogue or conversation directed towards your page. I'd just like to say, Ms. Trejo, it's good to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I tell you again, folks, that we really are happy for some of the work that, well, a lot of the work that Razak is doing out there to bring small businesses and uplift them and provide the services that they need to make their business shine a little bit better and give them a platform to be able to succeed. And today I have this guest on our show that I am, so excited about, but I can't, I just can't do it all. I'm gonna have her introduce herself.
First, I do want to say thank you for this opportunity, gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be able to be a part of this. Hello, everyone. My name is Diane Trejo, proud owner of Candy Craze, which is a freeze dried candy business. What is freeze dried candy? Um, it specializes in offering a delightful twist on traditional candies by freeze drying them to create a unique texture and intensify unique textures and flavors. So basically, I want to say the easy one to think of is Skittles, the chewy small candy. We know how much flavor is behind a Skittle. Freeze drying it, you still have that juicy flavor, but now it's in a light crunch. So very easy for everyone to enjoy. If you have sensitive teeth or even those with braces, they still get to continue enjoying these sweets. So just brings a little twist to the candy, but still giving you that amazing flavor.
All right.
Uh, everybody needs to know that sweets is one of those things everybody loves. So, and it's a treat
Mhm.
that you can always take wherever you want to go. If you're
Right?
traveling, you're on a road trip, you're just doing family things. That is so exciting about it. I mean, when I saw those treats at the pop up tent, I was like, man, can you tell us a little bit about like what type of things you put in there, what type of fruits, what type of things that you use?
So to be honest, Skittles, you open the bag, you put in the freezer dryer, and you let it do its magic. I mean, obviously, you have to know the temperatures and how long, what to put on the trays. But I'm not changing the candy. I'm literally just putting it in the freezer dryer, and it just does its magic. So I do Skittles, sour Skittles. My number one selling item is the Tajín Skittles, uh, caramel M&Ms. It's a hot one. Um, sea salt caramel chocolate,
Man.
Milk Duds. A really good one is the Jolly Ranchers, Starburst, Lemon Heads. There's a long list. However, not everything is posted on my Etsy account yet. Some of it is still trying to figure out the best packaging because it is very fragile. Because it is so light in texture, it can easily break in transit time when shipping. So I'm still trying to get that perfect packaging down right. And because I haven't, that's the reason why it's not posted. So for the pop-ups, I can definitely offer a variety of them because they're not being shipped. But I'm still working. It's a work in progress.
Okay.
Wow, when you said Skittles and then Jolly Ranchers, that's a big jump, boy. I was like, shoot, I love Jolly Ranchers. I love Apple,
Okay,
man.
well,
I
we'll make
just
sure
love
to
the
get you
Apple
some
Jolly
Jolly
Ranchers.
Ranchers so you know what I'm
Man,
talking about.
you can do that, man. I'm on that stuff. So it's just amazing that the people that we meet and that come on the show, just the creativity that people have in making products and changing things up. It's not like reinventing the wheel. They just hopping on the wheel and just kind of making some small changes and then making something really, really delicious. And I look
Exactly.
forward to trying some of that. Another question I have for you: can you tell us a little bit about what's unique about you? What's something that most people don't know about you, or if they heard, they'd be like, "Man, I didn't know."
About me personally, or are we talking about
Yeah,
candy?
about you.
Okay.
About you.
This is my third job. So I do have a 9 to 5 job working for the U.S. Postal Service as a sales representative. So as a sales representative, I actually help businesses with their shipping and marketing. So I actually learn a lot from my customers, and hearing their stories has what has helped me jump into my own business. So I started a photo booth business in 2019, right when the pandemic hit. Um, and then my son got accepted to Berkeley. So paying for his housing and tuition, had to start another business. So here I am now with Candy Craze. And that is what keeps me going, is being able to always provide for my kids.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that we hope our kids understand is the work that you put in to help to provide for them, the sacrifices that you do. I'm sure they watch you put this together. They watch you, seen you make these products, and I'm sure that's one of those things that we hope that they kind of like picked up on. Like, what, it ain't easy. Even though I do have this 9 to 5, it doesn't take care of everything I want for you. So I have to go out and do a little bit more. Can you talk a little bit about like what were some of the other motivating factors or things that you ran into that helped you to say, oh, I wanted to go into this business, that this business is something that I like and love to show?
So again, I learned from the businesses that I help, right? And didn't understand what freeze dried candy was and how can I help them learn to better package their product if I don't even know what it is that they were talking about. So I order it, I eat it, and I'm not a candy person. I'm not much. It just doesn't grab me. But I had one by my desk, and next thing you know, I realized most of the bag was gone, and that's not me. So I realized how addicting this candy was, and I tried to hang on to just a little bit to share with my son and anyone who came over. Here, try this. It's because it was new to me, freeze dried candy. Anyone who tried it, it was amazing to see their reactions. And then I started researching it more. How did they make freeze dried candy? Just learning more about it, and hearing the success of others that were doing this just caught my attention. And once you start researching, you get more excited and started thinking, I can do this. I could be making candies while I'm asleep. The machine can be. So I'm literally working 24/7, even when it may not look like it.
Well, you know, that's the best way to make money is while you're sleeping. You know, if you can make money while you're sleeping, and if you can have machines to do the work while you're sleeping, and you just wake up, man, you tapped into the right business, and
So
that's something to be proud of. You know,
I
do
do
you
want to
have
add,
family members?
my
Oh, go
mom
ahead.
wants to always help. So this gives her something to do. So, now
Okay.
I have my mom kind of helping, and she'll cut some of the candy or prep it, or, unwrap, these Jolly Ranchers, the Starburst, she gets my dad involved. So while he's watching a football game, he's unwrapping candies.
Man.
So, they're labeling bags for me, and we're doing what we can. So it entertains her. She helps me. And, because we always pull together as a family whenever we need each other. So we're making it happen slowly but surely, but we're making it. And she's been to those pop-ups with me as well, helping out there. She enjoys it.
That's a family business.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh
really getting the
yeah.
family
I think
involved.
that's
Mm.
I think that's awesome. Once you got your family hooked up on, with you and helping to lift you up in a small business as an entrepreneur, man, that is a lifesaver. So I tell you, I'm glad that you have that support system.
Although I
Razak?
do feel like they're eating my profits away, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, of course they're gonna be eating some. They got to test the product, make sure it's right.
For sure.
She's looking for
Yeah, for
any
sure, for
rejected
sure, for
candy.
sure, for sure.
This one looks funny. We shouldn't put this
Yeah,
one in the
yeah.
bag.
Oh my God. Oh my
No, that's
God.
right.
You gotta write that cost down. You gotta subtract that. It's a write-off, You gotta make sure you keep your
Man.
leisure right, you know.
I told her that's her pay right there, eating free candy.
Wow, wow, wow. Go ahead, Razak.
Man. Uh, well, I was gonna say, how do you stay like okay? Well, you had a whole lot of products. You listed a whole lot of things right there. How do you stay up to date with the latest, like is the food trends and techniques?
So when I said doing research, there is a lot of research involved, right? I mean, you can't just jump. Well, I kind of jumped into it, but I have learned a little on the way. So I learn a lot from Facebook groups. So I joined Facebook groups within the topic freeze dried can or freeze drying, and everyone shares their secrets. They share their success or their failures, even. And I read them all. I read all the comments underneath it. So if I come across it, I already know. And they pretty much do the work for me. So instead of trial and error, doing everything myself, putting in the candies, figuring out the temperature, do I need to heat it? Do I need to? I just go right to Facebook group, look up, see who's already done it, see what their success was, what the recipe is, and it's done. So kind of saved me a lot of time, and we're all helping each other here with what we can do. There's plenty of room for us to share, right? So
Right.
that's kind of where I learned the most of mine is just literally just joining these Facebook groups and reading everything they have to share.
Okay. When you do that and when you share like sort of your experience and your journey with these other businesses, have you how do you handle like criticism, or have you have any negative reviews about the process you're using or how much you're
I've
doing
always
it?
worked with the public, and I know that how individuals can be, and you just
Mhm.
accept it, smile, just go with it. I know they can't see you through a smile with it, but just don't chime in. If they want to be negative, that's fine.
Mhm.
I just stick to what the topic was. If I shared something, or maybe it might be something that I needed to hear, and I'll just say thank you. It's up
Right,
to me whether I listen to it or how much I dwell on it, right? So
right.
thank you for the comments.
I heard that. What would you say? Would you think was the most important aspect about running a successful your Candy Craze business?
Well, I'm still getting there. It's not
You're
where I
still
want it
getting.
to be. But there is a lot behind it that maybe a lot of individuals don't understand. It's now we're dealing with food. So we have to look at permits, license, food handling. Um,
Mhm.
obviously buying the equipment. It's not just the freezer dryer, but the gloves, the bags, the proper bags. How much do you put in there? The sealing, which bags is going to keep the candy, fresh. Learning the candies. There's so much behind it. It keeps going. Your logo, the stickers, where to order the stuff from, best pricing.
Right.
And it just continues to go from there. Now it's how am I going to sell it? So then I have to learn Etsy. Never dealt with Etsy before, but that was just kind of a starter to get me warmed up. Then I jumped into a pop-up, which I've never done those before. Never done a pop-up market, and now I'm buying everything I need for that: the tent, the chairs, the tables, the displays, and learning the proper pricing. What's going to actually give me profit? What's going to make sense on how much to charge for these candies? And what I charge on Etsy is going to be different than I do at a pop-up, because now we're dealing with shipping costs, or, there's just so much involved that people don't realize. It's really figuring out the all behind the scenes that people don't see. What's going to make sense for the packaging, and the cost and the logo, and creating a QR code, creating this, and how am I going to get the message out now creating content for social media, which I'm not a social media person. Now I got to learn social media. And then how do I think of a post every day, or when I'm actually at these events, I'm the one running the events. I'm setting up, I'm selling it. I'm the one pushing it out there, teaching people what's freeze dried candy. Do you want a sample? Try it. And because I'm so involved on engaging with everyone, that I forget to pull out my phone and take a picture of them or take a video. I would love to catch a video of everyone's reactions when they try it. It's so exciting to see everyone's face, they didn't expect it to taste that way, and they get excited. But it's getting the business to where I need it to be, shipping at a consistent, it's still a work in progress, because I don't like to do anything cheesy. I want it to be very presentable, and you aim to do it right the first time. And I know it's always going to be errors and you learn from it. But I'm trying to eliminate that. But I'm definitely having a slower start to the Candy Craze business, and working on hopefully getting a website soon.
Okay. Wow, there was a lot going on right there. I'm glad you just said all that right there, because I was going to ask you. Well, I guess it still applies. Is how do you balance, or how do you? How do you balance? How do you handle the pressure, and if there's stress and anxiety from getting all those things that you need? Not knowing if your business is even going to take off or not. How long you're going to be in business. All these things calculated. How do you balance the process of getting all that stuff? Is there a list or something you go through? How did you find? I mean, I know you say you go on these different sites, but how did you get into the process of knowing how to balance and handle the pressure that comes with not only working yourself, but funding a whole new business that's your own creation?
It's not an option for me to tell my son, no, I will not pay for his schooling. So I just keep going. I keep going. I'm what he has, right? Single parent, trying to make it work and trying to make it happen for my kids. And I always just want to set that example. And it's not just for my kids, but for my granddaughter as well. So I just keep going, and I learn, and you look at one side and someone might suggest something else. And so you start researching that, and you end up going down a rabbit hole. You just keep going and going and looking. And if I don't understand something, then now I'm researching that part, and it just doesn't stop. So I may say I'm going to bed at 10, but there I am on my phone. And 2 hours later, it's like, oh, well, I learned this and I learned that, but I don't go to sleep immediately, because I'm constantly looking at something. So someone may think I'm constantly on my phone on social media. Yeah, I might be on social media, but not posting or looking at everyone's stuff. I'm literally part of all these groups, and I'm just learning. And to me, social media is my training. That's where I'm learning everything.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it, because a lot of other people are going to be on social media, doing their own little thing. But what I want to know is, okay, so is there like do you incorporate? Well, I know. I guess the candies that you just named off were maybe in the traditional sense. They sound like the regular kind of everyday candies that you have, Starburst, Jolly Ranchers and stuff. But do you try to incorporate any kind of cultural influences into your product or how you
Yes.
market it?
Yeah. So, especially with us being in Southern California, so close to Mexico, everyone is familiar with the seasoning, tajín. And so everyone likes that little, it's not really spicy, but it just has that little salty spice kick to whatever you add it to. So add it to the Skittles and found a way to put that together. And so you have the sweet, salt, and spicy, light texture crunch. And that is my number one selling item. So then what did I do? Everyone that likes lemon heads. Okay, well, let me try to do tajín to lemon heads. Another good hit. So now I'm like, all right, let's see what else we could add tajín to. And tajín seems to be a hit with the majority of those that order from me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How do you create like your menu? Is there like a? I mean, I'm pretty sure you have like a list because you named off a whole bunch of stuff, and there's some other stuff that you have. So I mean, and you throwing all these things together, you're throwing some culture in there. How did you come up with what you're going to sell as far as the list of the candies that you named off?
So at my last pop-up event, it was in March, right before Easter. So we're thinking Easter, what's going to sell during Easter time, right? For Easter baskets or little boxes that were already created with various candies. Um, so again, joining my freeze dried groups on Facebook. Hey, what else is what is everyone else doing? And you
Mhm.
might get an idea from someone, but then now you start to think of your own ideas and you kind of do a little twist to it. You just start to get creative, but usually I'm kind of copying what somebody else has started. But I did like kind of like lollipop in a way, like these pops, and it freeze dried marshmallow pops as individuals. So I did it because of Easter. I created little boxes that have a mixture already. Regular Skittles, tajín Skittles, sour Skittles. Let them figure out which one they like. It's just small bags, but maybe hopeful that they will come back and order larger ones.
Mhm.
And so just incorporating different ones, it was an opportunity for me to put a list out there. So whatever I had available that day, I created a little menu and made it a cute little display on the table, to offer. And that was going to be my tester to see which ones was going to sell at that event, to know which ones I was going to push more on the Etsy site. Which ones do I need to work on next? So everything's still in a testing mode right now. Let's see what's working, and I'll know what to push more for going forward.
I'm glad you just said that because you was testing because I was going to ask you what was the weirdest combinations that you guys tasted. And he was like, nah, that's not it. Like, what I mean, like during because I'm pretty sure you just said, I mean, you guys are eating and testing all this stuff. So what was like? You was like, nah, this ain't working.
Let
Like,
me
have
tell
you?
you, I have a line of people that want to be my tasters. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I really have been surprised. It was blowing me. I couldn't grasp the idea of chocolate. Like
Exactly.
I can't understand chocolates freeze dried. And so I did one tray just to see how that came out. And man, that was like phenomenal. And that went really well. But again, it's hot now. It's getting warm, and I would hate for them to kind of melt or mess up
No.
during this
Mhm.
time. And then because I am a kind of a one-man show, I can't have all of those candies available at all times, because if they don't sell, then it's wasted product. So I have to still be able to find that balance of how much product to have on hand without
Mhm.
it going bad, or to be able to sell at a good time. So I'm just trying to figure out which ones are going to be my basic candies to have at all times. And I'm thinking of maybe promoting a new candy every month. So then I can kind of concentrate on more of a one candy and then get them to anticipate what's going to be the new flavor of the month. But this is mainly so that I can stay sane. There's no way I can be making 15 different candies at a time and have them fully stocked. So let's kind of narrow it down to always having maybe 5 on hand and maybe promoting a candy of the month. If that's just trying to make more sense out of it is really what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And to be able to stay sane because it is a lot. So that's what I'm thinking of doing right now.
You know, I'm going to ask you this right quick and pass it to Keith. But, you know, there's some things that just had me question. Like, so let me just ask you this. So as you're making the candy, is it, well, I guess it's you're getting pre-existing already candy and you're just restructuring it and adding some more ingredients or chopping it up and remixing it? How you?
So if it's original Skittles, which we can't use the name, right, for copyrights. Why did I blank out on what I actually call mine? Or I think I'm calling it Rainbow. Yeah.
Rainbow.
So regular original Skittles, I just call it Rainbow. Then there's Rainbow Sour and then Rainbow with tahini, right? So it's the sour Skittles and the Skittles with tahini. Those are like my main 3 that I keep on hand that continuously sell. And I already have it a little ahead of time. So if an order comes in, I immediately package it, put a label and get it to the post office. And then again, that's part of my reviews is how great the timing was that it arrived because I immediately get it out and it is fresh product. Now, if I'm running low or if it's a product that they order that I don't typically keep on hand, I will immediately put it in the freezer dryer, try to get it made and shipped out as soon as possible within 24 hours because to me, it's not just getting the product to them. I want to make sure that they get good product and hopes that they will continue to order, but we also want that good review, right? The good reviews is definitely what sells as well. So if you're like me, I'm definitely going to be looking at reviews before I purchase anything. So I think that just makes a big difference. I want to make sure that they have good product and it does get there in good timing.
Okay. That's always good to know right there. You know, it's fresh and it's and you're at the post office, so you can definitely get it right on the way. Put it right in there.
And if it is when the post office closes, I can go behind the scenes and say, can you get this on the truck tonight? So I do go that extra mile for my customers to make sure that they get it as soon as possible.
I heard that. Keith?
That's great. I think that's everything you're mentioning there about business and how and what you do to keep your business going is important. All of the different areas that you're working in to try to make sure that your product gets out. One of the things that, and a few questions that I have here that I'm going to go through, some of them are based on how do you deal with friends? You know, you got your friends that are riding with you when you come out with a new product. They, you know, they support you, they buy from you, and they go out and they give, you know, others to come in and get your product. But then there's those ones that are out there that, you know, oh, that you did a great job. I like that. Never really see them supporting you. How do you deal with that type of relationship? Because you still are friends. They're just not your business, you know, supporter. How do you balance that? What are some of the things that you've run into as you've developed your product and even your other businesses? How the people that are riding with you and some people that are not, how do you deal with that?
You just keep going. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I know what I stand behind. Yes, I do have many that have supported with even my other business doing bookings. Or I have, you know, a good friend that she's ordering for her kids' little league or basketball team. And what's the smallest little package that she can share with everyone? You know, it's something cost effective that she can share with the team that she's going to buy something for them anyways. Why not do it supporting a small business, but she's doing it for me. I have many that do support, and it's funny because my mom, it's funny how she really pushes it out there. I mean, it's my business. You would think I would be out there speaking it more, but she pushes it. She tells everyone she's the candy lady, you know, just giving out candy. And I would personally be like, you can't just be giving candy to people's kids. Like, I wouldn't be okay with people giving my kids candy like that. But my mom doesn't, she doesn't hesitate. So, whole other different city than where my mom lives. I'm at Home Depot ordering appliances. Long story short, that lady's had my candy because the lady that gave it to her was my mom. And so it turns out that, they went to church together and anyways, but like small world, and my mom just keeps giving it. She keeps giving it. And I do have a lot of people that support me and understand, and they are understanding why I'm not on the phone with them often or visiting them often because they know how busy I am. And then there's others that just like, they think that this is easy or, just not that big of a business or whatever the case may be, then no, that's fine. Just understand why I'm not making that phone call as often, and the phone works both ways, right? And I'm not going to stress about it. I do have support and I know what I'm doing, and I cannot let all that little stuff bother me because then I will have a pile of things to be crying about, and I can't go there. I can't go there.
Man. Yeah.
I think you said one of the important things that in the world of entrepreneurial risk and the things that we do is when you got your mom out there pushing stuff a lot better than you, and she's out there working harder than you, man, you like, I got to step up my game, because my mom's out there. She's out there selling the stuff. She knows the product. She probably tell stuff about your product you ain't even thought about talking about because
So I
she
do
know,
want to
oh, well,
share.
yeah, it's made, it's sweet. You can have it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I do have to share this story. So that pop-up venue that you did see me at, they were anticipating about 500 people to show up. But this was the first time that they were at this new location. And so we didn't know how that was going to go. So new location, expecting 500 people. It's a week before Easter. I'm thinking, candy. I'm like in the perfect business for this pop-up venue. I have to put my candy out there. And I didn't know when to stop. Like, this is all new. My first time, my first Easter. I'm making candy. I overmade. Plus, we had bad weather that weekend. So I did not even sell half the product of what I made. I came home with way too much. And now how am I going to get rid of it? Shipping, it's not going to get there on time for Easter. I was stuck with way too much inventory. And now I'm having to pay for like my son's housing. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? Because I threw a lot of this money into the candy. I'm just talking to my coworker, we catch up on Monday from the weekend. Hey, how was your weekend? Hey, how did your pop-up venue go? And so I'm sharing with her like, yeah, it's not what I expected. Next thing you know, it was my birthday that week. She shows up with her 3 grandkids singing happy birthday with a cake, comes into my kitchen and takes 4 big totes of candy. Just takes them. I have no idea how much inventory is in there. I have no idea. She didn't even ask how much to sell it for. She just took it. And I'm just like with my mouth open, like, why argue? I'm just going to sit here and go to waste anyways. Like, what am I going to do with it? So she takes it. I'm feeling defeated. Like, I don't know what she's going to do with it. I didn't stop her. I was just thrown off. I was thrown off. Well, it was bad weather that weekend too, Easter weekend. And I forget about it. I know that I just told her, look, whatever you sell it. Keep half of it. Give it to the kids. Do something with them. To me, I took it as a loss already. So any extra dollar I get from it, it's going to be a blessing. I forget about it. Come Monday, I'm headed to the office. She shows up with the kids. $800 in my hand right there and then. She was hustling my candies in the Sam's Club parking lot with her grandchildren, teaching them a lesson on how to help others and how to sell and hustle. They did more than I did. And that is the blessing right there. And this is a coworker who I do consider a good friend. And but that was a blessing right there too. And she said that it was a teaching for her grandkids, but she's thanking me. I don't know what I did, but I definitely thank her and the family. But that's the kind of support that I'm getting on my end.
You know, that is the cycle of life, right? It's if if you teach someone how to do something, it's just a blessing. And you had something there for them to be able to do that. You had a product where she was able to, oh, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to bring them out there and I'm show them what it is to be able to hear no, because a lot of people don't understand the word no just devastates them when they hear, if you're selling anything. My mom took me out to sell Amway, and I did not want to sell no Amway. And I heard a lot of no's when I was selling Amway. And one time I got a yes, and I sold a whole bunch. I must say that's what it's about. Being able to take a no and still keep going. And kids need to know that. And when they're out there, even for a job, when you interview and you hear no, and they're devastated, they can't do anything else. So I think that was probably, and then they know your product. They probably were able to talk about it. You don't know what they said about your product, but to sell $800, they said some good stuff about it, and
We
everybody
won't
that they
mention that
met
they're
must have
selling it at their
decided,
school
I'm
too.
going to buy
We
this.
won't go there.
Woo.
Yeah, you might want to
You know
start
what?
get into placing your product in these type of places and talk to them about getting them in there, because if they're able to sell it like that. Now, see, I'm glad you have brought that up too, because a lot of people don't realize that the people who don't go to the pop-ups and these vendors, they might still want your product. They just don't know where it's at. They never heard of it, and you have a person who is able to present it in such a way for it to sell so much. Those are people that we need to get on to, maybe like a little payroll. Like, hey, if you're able to do that, let me give you some more, and that'd be like you're a salesperson who has now you have just employed somebody who has the ability and the enthusiasm and the energeticness to go and not only do it themselves, but have others in tow to teach them how to sell your product. That's all they need. That's
So
a
for
good
these
thing.
little kids, just random
Yeah.
numbers, just throwing out there. But I just shared with them, like, okay, I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. You can sell it for however much you want. But if you want to come back and get more, you're paying me this much. And so now, and just trying to do it at a really reasonable, like, to make it for them to make a little penny themselves. I'm not completely taking a loss. But yeah, it's really getting these kids to be inspired. So stick around, you guys, because you may have them on a podcast in the future.
Oh, that's right.
You guys are on the right track, and we're gonna get them there.
Oh man, yeah, I would love that. I would love that. I just think that is so important, from my days to have my kids, tell them, what am I going to do? It's just, I'm bored. Make some lemonade. Go out to the corner. They go out there and they come back with money, and they, oh, look at this money I got. Then one time I gave them some beads to make, and they made some beads, and I was like, oh my God, you guys! I said, go out. They came back and made some money. So every time I go to the store and I see them selling the cookies for Girl Scout cookies, you got to buy some. They already got it down. They know how. They just look at you. Oh, you want to buy something? It's easy. Those are the best sellers in the world. They know.
But
They
it's
know
also the brand, right? We
how
know
to
the
do it.
brand. We know
They
the
definitely
product.
know how
We
to.
know it's good.
Yeah.
So now it's, how can we get our name out there and the brand known to get people to continue to buy? So that's future goals right there.
Yeah.
I like
and
to
they don't
ask you
teach that
about
in
those.
school.
For sure. I like to ask you about what you just mentioned there, a little bit about your little future goals, and I was going to come to a little later. So have you ever thought about trademarking, or what's your goal to try to get it into a store? Because I see your logo back there. What are you doing to make sure that's that logo and your business is something that you can solidify? This way you have a good name for your business. You have a that the product is something that people like. You can actually, in some way find a way to protect that, even at the smallest level that you're in. Maybe it's hard for people to really understand, like the copyrights and the trademarks and all of those different things. But I would do the same thing you've been doing with researching with your Facebook friends and all of your other things, is YouTube University and all these other places so that you can get an idea of what that is, because I'm going through that process myself for trademark, but I also try to make sure that I copyright things too. And I would want to make sure that you put something in place for your name, because when you get into like a podcast like this, or you get into the public where we're putting you out there in a way, it's important to kind of think about those things, because people will find ways to take something you've already created and then going on. So even though right now you have it in a way that you're using it, you're working it, it's in a business, nobody can take it, so it is yours. But just getting that document or some sort of a document with it, I think it's important in your business, because this can blow up like that. You get it in a store, you get it in a few other places where people are constantly seeing it, or it will just, you'll have more orders than you can keep up with. So let me ask you regarding those orders, how do you deal with large orders? Lord's, yeah.
Right. But yeah, that being said, that's also a different permit, right? So I have the permit to sell it personally, but not the permit to have it sold on a store or someone else selling it for me. So that is something that I'm working on as well. But why pay for a more expensive permit when I didn't know quite what it was all going to entail? So definitely the next time to renew my license permit, I will probably be bumping it up, I want to say, so that we could possibly go down that avenue of having it displayed at other stores, right? Or at schools or whatever it may be.
Yeah. It's just one of those things I think that's important, especially in your type of business. It's an important thing, because it is food. It is something that you're taking a product that it comes in with its own name and everything. But once you change it into something else and you make it a different product again, now it's yours. Now it's your creation. It's your type of thing. So try to look into that. And when you talk about SP, what was your process in getting on there to be able to sell your product on that platform?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So it was one of those evenings, probably just laying there on the computer, and I mainly do everything from my phone. Just started looking at Etsy. I don't even know how I just started clicking here, clicking there. It was just kind of like, let's see what this does. Let's see what that does. And so I do need to clean up my Etsy site. It's kind of like your own website through Etsy, right? You have your own store through them, and you can do some of their advertising ads. And I'm learning this as I go. But then it's like, okay, now I'm understanding how to post a new candy. Now I'm understanding so it's getting a little bit easier as I go along, but getting the pictures. There's another added duty, right? Is getting the good pictures, good video to display what it is that you're doing. And when it's a one-man show, and again, I'm not that social media person, I'm still learning on how to use it. I'm learning how to take pictures, how to take good pictures, making it very clean. How am I going to display that? So learning on how to do videos, kind of hard to do videos of myself while I'm at working. So this is all stuff that I'm learning. This is a work in progress right now. And that's probably why it's a little bit slower taking off than I would like it to be.
Right.
I think you're right about that. But a lot of the things that I've tried to do with them, I just haven't been able to do it. You just got to sit back one night and go through it and follow the prompts, and next thing you know, you're in. You're like, I don't know how I got in, but I'm in. I'm gonna start.
That's exactly what happened with Etsy. Wish it was that easy with TikTok. For whatever reason, I just can't get it with TikTok right now.
Oh man, it's all of that stuff is it's new to me too. So even with this podcast, we be trying to do certain things that maybe outside of our wheelhouse. So we have to let other people do that can handle those things. Let's go ahead and take a minute here and see your product. I like to be able to talk about that. So if you like to bring that screen up, we'll go ahead and go through your product.
Sure. So again, this Etsy is a work in progress. So this top picture here, this main picture that's in the background, that's actually your Skittles. That is what a Skittle will look like once it's been freeze dried. So it kind of, the size increases and it gives it a very light crunch, but it still has that amazing flavor. You can still see the texture on the outside that kind of gives it that same sweetness. But that's what your original Skittles are, or what I call rainbow. But that's what it looks like. And this is my #1 selling. I don't know if you guys are able to.
There you go. Yeah, that's better right there.
There you go. So this is my #1. This is just your rainbow tahine, also known as Skittles with tahine added. Just kind of want to give you an idea. This is what a regular Skittle looks like, your little soft, chewy candy. But once it's freeze dried, this is how it grows in size and gives it that light texture. But it's when you actually taste it, it kind of melts in your mouth. I like to say my Jolly Ranchers are the ones that melt in your mouth, kind of like a cotton candy, and still has that original juicy, mouth-watering flavor taste.
Yeah, man.
So this is it. This is up close. This would be your Skittles with tahine added. So very light flavoring, but enough to give it just a little bit of flavor, to add a little bit of a salt, a spicy that a little kid can eat. Even though I'm Latina, I can't tolerate very hot meals. So if I can eat this, anyone else can. I guarantee you that.
Man, I heard that. Yeah, it gets spicy.
So let's see. So I want to show you. This is what a picture of what somebody, when they receive their product. So this was the Jolly Ranchers. I didn't know how else to package it. I didn't think it was sufficient enough to put it in a small bag. You might only get 5 candies in there, and it might even crunch, crushed by the time it gets there. So it's definitely figuring out the packaging. Let me see if I can.
Jolly Puffs down there.
So this is.
Click on that. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
These are the Jolly Ranchers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm supposed to be sending you guys after the show, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that I jumped on this, because I didn't realize I was sold out. So that probably explains why I haven't got more orders on this.
Man. Yeah,
so I do have to limit the quantity that I have available, because otherwise I don't want to wake up. I mean, it may be a good problem to have, but again, to stay in good reviews, I don't want to wake up and have 200 orders and I don't have any available, right? So I try to limit how much quantity I have available, and apparently I didn't realize that I was sold out. We can just kind of go from this. We can go from this screen.
What's in the Fiesta mix bag?
So we just have a lot of Mexican candies, a mixture of it. So maybe not everybody can go buy a whole box of each candy. Kind of gives you a variety mix. And it normally sells to those back east. So those that don't normally have these candies available, those are the ones that normally tend to buy this product.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a mixture of candies, of Mexican candies. Again, my rainbow, this is the original, the one on the far right. Then the next one, the pink, these are nerd clusters, but calling them clusters. These are pretty good. These are a very light crunch. And again, those that have sensitive teeth, those that can't really chew very well, those that have braces, this is a good candy for them, because it pretty much just melts in your mouth. It's pretty, we want to say it's braces safe. This is going to be your nerd clusters. Well, this was our Valentine's nerd clusters. I didn't know what a nerd cluster was before, but freeze dried. Woo! Am I loving this one? So here's the before. It's a little chewy candy with, and you know what Nerds taste like. Nerds has a little of a tart, a sour little tart flavor to it. Remember the little Nerds in the box?
Yes.
I know we're about the same age. Come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking about that. I was like, Nerds, is that the kind? Yeah, because
but now the Nerd clusters, it's Nerds in this other little chewy form. So this is what it is before, and this is what it is after. I know I still have it displayed as Easter boxes, so I need to update this. But this has been a popular item. Can you see my screen where it is showing?
Yeah, I was wondering what those are, but those are just the boxes that you sent them in.
No, so these are the chamoy pickle kits. So what this is, these are all the items that go in it. So you have like the hot chips. We have the swinkles, fruit roll up, some of the Mexican candies, tamarindo. And what you're going to do is you have this big chamoy pickle. It's a pickle that's already been chamoy flavored. And what you're supposed to do is cut the pickle on the top and you're going to gut it out. So you take all the insides out and you're going to dress it with these items that were previously here. Stuff a little of this, stuff a little of that, wrap it with a fruit roll up, sprinkle some of the candies on it. And that makes you a chamoy. It's a pickle kit. Now this has become a big item. People love the idea of just dressing it. What's it going to taste like? And really what you're biting into is a little bit of sweet, salty, and spicy, all in one, depending on how you put it together. So you can read some of these reviews and it does get you excited. Like this one says, holy moly, these are so good. And thank you for, what was it?
The extra.
The extra. We'll be ordering again soon. Thank you. So a lot of them really do get really hyped up and excited about it. So, and then when you get those, and then you get more excited and like, okay, then maybe I'm not doing so bad, and it helps you to continue going, right?
Yes, I would imagine so. This, most okay. Let's look. Rainbow original ties.
The rainbow tahine. This was just an idea, but adding the tahine, that's my #1 selling product.
I'm trying to get to this. Okay. Yeah, we might need to try one of them out right there. We might need to see what that's about. Candy Craze.
So ideally, I would love to get my packaging done where I don't have to be using stickers, having it printed on these bags, on these Mylar bags. That would be ideal. Less work on my end, and it just looks more professional, right? But again, all of this takes time to research the different companies out there that's going to be able to provide for you, who can actually do the designing of it, which one is going to keep the product fresh. I would like to have a window on there. And then a lot of them have a minimum order, and I'm not ready to order a minimum of 20,000 bags yet, so finding the right company to help me, that's going to be a big difference right there.
Yeah, 20,000 bags sound good.
It would be nice to sell them, but
it might be working for about a week trying to get them together, though, huh?
Well, what are they going to charge me to print out 20,000 bags? That's where the key is right now.
Oh, so these are so you had to find how these bags are. These are like airtight or something, whatever. Or for food, these type of bags.
Yeah, so there's different ones out there, and there's more eco-friendly, but then those are the ones that probably won't keep the product as fresh. And not that I'm against it, but just being that I don't know how soon I'll be able to sell the product, and I don't want to wait till the moment that people are placing an order to make it. So that kind of makes it in a tough situation right now, is to be able to utilize some of these bags that are out there.
This might be my comment right here. I'm having trouble putting it down. just eating them, just eating and going, and they
And I'm
gone.
telling you, I'm not much of a candy person, but when it was on my desk, I couldn't stop. And once I have one, I keep going, and that's my downfall. Don't have one.
Man, can't just eat one.
When you see them in the store, you see them in that looking like that. Then,
yeah.
Well, those are those products that you have there. Are just like you say, you're grasping all of the the knowledge you need to be able to sell the product better, to provide it better for when you want to ship it, and how you want to house it yourself before shipping. What does that require? What type of room does that require? Refrigeration that requires, so that you can maintain it to be as fresh as it is as when you took it out of the process when you first get it out. So in doing this business, I'm thinking, man, what are some of the triumphs and challenges that you ran into? I know we talked about a few, but what are some of the big ones that you see that you ran into?
Time. Time is probably my biggest enemy right now, just because this isn't my number one job, and this isn't the only thing I have to focus on. So between my 9-to-5 job, and I also have another business that I started prior to this one, that there are some seasons that are busier than others. And that one I'm comfortable with. That one I know it. This one I'm learning and growing into it. But not understanding about, I want to say more the food industry of it, the permits and the licenses and the food handlers and how to process, things the clean and neat way. That is kind of a challenge right there. And then just learning how to store it, how to keep it fresh, how to package it. This is stuff that I didn't get a chance to research before jumping into it. I researched other things about permits and license and how to make the candy, but I didn't research other obstacles that I was going to have to go through. So I know people will say, why freeze dried? Everyone's doing it now. Everybody jumped on it at the same time. And, I always have to remember, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, In-N-Out, Carl's Jr., they're all hamburger places, but they're all doing well, right? They all have their own brand, their own, what they're known for, and they didn't give up, and they're continuing to be successful and in business. So you're always going to have those challenges out there. You're always going to have that competitor, but there's enough room for all of us. So it's just being persistent, keep going, and praying that the blessings will be coming through.
That was a great example. Great example.
That's a great example, because they all selling burgers, just selling them a different way. But the basic part of the burger is ground beef, whatever it is.
Right?
It's still beef. I don't care how you do it, what you do to it, turkey, beef, whatever it is, it's still the same basic formula. It's just adding all these different flavors, just like it's like going to a hot dog. Oh man, this hot dog is good. Why is the same hot dog? What are you talking about? It's what they put on it. It's what they
there's
put on
always
it.
room for another pizza business. I always say there's always room for pizza. Bring on another one. So I'm going to squeeze myself into the freeze dried world. There's room for me too. There's room for me too.
Man,
oh yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, freeze dried candy pizza. Oh my god, freeze dried candy pizza.
Candy pizza.
It's coming to you soon. What? I want to try that. I want to try it. Can you give me one of your defining moments? What's one of your defining moments that you've had out there, that you've been at the pop-up tents, you've been dealing with a lot with these businesses you have. What are one of your defining moments?
So my granddaughter, just kind of helping the parents raise her, and she recently got into trouble. And the discipline I gave her was she needed to write everyone an individual letter of apology. Not just a generic letter for everyone, but everyone she needed to apologize to. And the letter she wrote to me was very heartwarming, that I didn't see coming. And she apologized to me and said, you're the one person I did not want to disappoint. I look up to you the most. You work so hard with your businesses. And just saying that she looked up to me the most and that I am a role model to her meant a lot. And then I know that, okay, then this is not all for waste. And it's not just to get my son through school. It's also sending a message to her as well, that maybe one job may not work, but you don't give up. And there's always going to be an option for you to make money and never give up. Do your research, do what you can. If you want to make it happen, you'll make it happen.
Right.
Well, I really feel what you're talking about when you're talking to your grandkids and you're instilling in them those things that are important. That's kind of been passed down to you. And, in this new generation, everything is right there at their fingertips. They don't really have time to do things like deal with their feelings or really understand what are the feelings. And so you having them write it down and try to, think about what they did or how they did it or what they can do better is a big part of what we have to continue to pass down. And I just commend you for going at it with her with that thing. Write that letter, write that apology to the people that you've hurt. So now you have to sit there and actually think about something. And it's not texting, because you can always text and say, I'm sorry, I really, mean it. This is what it was. But to write it down, it's a whole nother, it's a whole nother ball game to do that. And I really do appreciate you bringing that to our audience as well. And one more thing I want to ask him, I'll pass it over to Razak, is talk a little bit about what's your hobby? What are you doing for fun, man? You got all this stuff going on. What's happening with your, what are you doing for fun? Talk about your hobbies.
So my 9-to-5 job is very demanding, and I do work salary. So it's not always 9 to 5. It could be 7 to 7. So that could take up a lot of my time. But again, as I mentioned, I do have my photo booth business, which can be time consuming, and going to other people's events, trying to make it fun and exciting for them. And then obviously jumping into this candy. But I very much enjoy doing gatherings with friends and family. Just that getting together, the barbecue, we love playing games. I mean, very often some of my friends will ask me to host game night, and I very much enjoy that. Just making it fun, having a few drinks, barbecuing. And I do have a good man in my life who is very supportive and helps me every way that he can possible with what little he knows about the business, but he supports it. He's not, pouting about the time that it's taking. And look, I make it very clear. Let me know what your schedule is. Let me know what you're here, because then I work everything outside of that. So whenever we do spend time together, it's quality time together, and I'm not working during the time that he is around. And so we go out and we went to the batting cages, we miniature golf, movies, going out and having a good meal, enjoying out the times, going out to whatever we're invited to. To me, just that family gathering and stop thinking about the business for a minute, regardless of what it is, I enjoy it. But I look forward to the summertime the most, just being able to go out to the creek, going out to the beach, and just not having to worry about any business, because my mind is constantly turning and thinking, what's next? What do I need to add to my to-do list? What's next? What's my checklist looking like? So he has definitely been a blessing to have that support and understanding. And when he takes me out to go do things, he does have it in my best interest to just put everything aside and enjoy the moment.
Okay.
Hey. That seems like a good
guy.
You
have a pleasant distraction, huh?
Yeah, there you go, man. You need every woman has to have a good man, and every man has to have a good woman. So therefore, that's the that's the rule of this world that we live in. If you ain't got it, you better be trying to get it, because that's what makes the world go around. And keep the peace,
Right.
keeps everybody happy. So, and I'm really proud of the fact that you found someone to help you and support you in your business, because that's hard to do. A lot of people we've talked to, they do this on their own. They don't have that other person, or they do have that other person. And when they on the phone at 10 o'clock at night trying to do something, get off the phone. You guys, what are you doing? Or they on their laptop trying to do stuff. Are you coming to bed? Or I mean, I don't even think I ate today. So it's a lot of other things that that comes with the entrepreneurial experience and journey. So, and I appreciate that you've been able to have some success in balancing those things and finding out what's important to help you succeed. So I'm gonna pass it over to Razak.
Man, I just want to say I like what you how you told us that little story, gave us a little insight. I like when I hear that people have people in their family look up to the other family members. I always say, we have a lot of different people who say, hey, who inspire you, or who are you looking up to? Who are your role models? I was about to ask you about who your role models are, but, I just wanted to comment. I like hearing, when people, it's kids in general, they're always looking towards a star, athlete, or something like that, when the person right there in front of them should be who they're looking up to. That the person who gets them, who understands them, who is trying to, I always have this thing about when does a person assume that they're too grown to stop listening to the people that have been giving them good advice. That is, if you're giving them good advice, some people, some people can be steered wrong in the family members. You might have some family members that might be, kind of hating on you, but the ones that are steering you good, that are constantly in your corner, those are the people I think that should be, your mentors or people that you're looking up to. And by saying that, do you have role models or people of influence that you have taken in, your parents or friends, that kind of give you added motivation other than the kids? I know you say your kid is in college and stuff and doing that, but aside from that, where do you get your inspiration from?
I can't say there's an individual that stands out more than the other. I think everyone coming together as a team definitely is motivation, whether it's good or bad. It could be someone negative, but it's still some kind of inspiration to be. I hope to never be that way, right? I hope to be successful so I never have to be that way. But I am blessed, and I want to say it's just our Heavenly Father, that He is always there, and just continue to pray. And that's what gives me my strength, because without Him, I couldn't have gotten this far. I would have never, ever would have thought that this is what I would have been doing. I was a window clerk for the post office for 20 some years. I sold stamps. If you want to simplify it, that's how everybody looks at it. But to be where I'm at now, I never would have saw it coming. So it is a blessing, and God has a plan for me and my family. And I'm just going down the road that He has for me. And I don't know what the future holds, but I'm trying to hang in there for me and my family.
Right. Of course. Thank you. Do you have a ritual or a custom that you have before you start making your, do you have like a certain prayer before you go into making your candies?
So every morning I wake up just to pretty much, give me the strength to get through the day. Give me His eyes to see what needs to be seen, His ears to hear what needs to be heard, and take control of my mouth, right? Not to say things I shouldn't. And, just speak, to know that He is in control of our lives, and He is here with the plan for us. And I never look at life to be, how can I make you better? Or how can I change your life? Or how can I give you a life lesson? I wake up every day, make me a better person. What do I need to see? What do I need to hear? What do I need to feel? What do I need to say? Help me to be there for my kids, my family, my friends, help me to be that better person, better sister, better daughter, better mother, you know, and I'm praying for me. I'm praying for me, and hopefully I'm a better person for you.
Yeah. Better business, huh? Yeah.
I also say I don't drink coffee for me. I drink the coffee to benefit you guys, right? So that I'm a better person around you guys.
So you have that energy going. Say, you mentioned the photo booth before. Is there a collaboration or partners that you go into business with as far as sales or advertisement?
No, so the photo booth is a complete different business. I don't combine the two at all. And I have a separate Instagram for both businesses, a separate Facebook for both businesses, separate TikTok for both businesses, and just continuously to keep it just completely separate. I just don't even know how to collaborate the two. And, you know, I have to be mindful they paid for a photo booth, so I'm not going to try to bring in another side gig business of selling candy to them. You know, I'm giving them what they paid for.
Okay. Let me ask you this one other thing. Is there, okay, so it's traditionally candy that's pretty much already in existence, but does when and as far as kids concerned or adults, you know, do you think of the health behind your product as far as like diabetes and maybe even the obesity or anything like that due to your product or overconsumption?
Absolutely. So obviously one of the requirements when you have your license permits is that you do have to put the ingredients on the back of the bag. So again, researching all of that, you know, being able to put that in correctly. But one thing to kind of keep in mind, yes, it is the same candy. I'm sure that's the same amount of sugar in there. I don't know how you can kind of reduce that. But a Jolly Rancher, we know what a Jolly Rancher looks like in its wrapper. That gets cut in 3 and it still triples in size. So imagine if I just put one, like it would just blow up and make a mess in the machine. But so when you eat one Jolly Rancher, it's equal to 1/3 of it. So you could probably get away with eating it, but not seeming like as much for diabetes or for diabetics, I should say. So I think it's just kind of having that discipline of not eating as much, but when you do eat it, you're eating a lot less than what an actual piece of candy is because of the size of it. So I think in a way it might help them in a way if they know their limitations.
It's their fault if they keep eating it all day, huh? You know.
It's all limitations. It's all limitations.
Right.
Tell me through your as you're working, as you created your first business or whichever one came first, your photo booth, your raising the kids, you know, trying to have your leisure times. What life lessons have you learned that you can share with us and our audience that you have that you can walk away with, you know, that instills with you, that keeps you as this person that you are before us right now?
So regardless of where, because we never know what happens in life, right? I mean, who knows if I'm going on 27 years with the Postal Service. How many more years can I do, or do I want to do? You know, you never know of any injuries that can happen that may limit me from doing my job. I feel that you never give up. There's still something out there. There is a business that you can still do. You can always make your own income. You're your own boss. You create what you want to create. So knowing that, do something you like, do something you want. There's always something out there. There's so many businesses popping up. I'm sure you guys know this. You see it. This is what your podcast is all about. I just tell everyone there's something for everyone out there. It's just you having that motivation and not giving up. But that's what I've learned is that I'm probably ready to open 5 more businesses with other ideas that I came up with, you know, but I'm limited on time. So if this doesn't work out, I'm sure there's something else that I may jump into later. But I'm going to give this a good shot. And like I said, it gets my mom involved and she gets to help out and my granddaughter gets to help. And I think it's kind of an adventure. My dad loves hearing the stories. My dad just like, hey, now what? Now what are we doing? And he doesn't mind prepping candy while he's watching a game.
Right, right. That goes right into my next question. You know, a lot of times we talk to people, and as individuals who are entrepreneurs who may work for other people and try to establish something on their own, a lot of times the other family members don't have interest in what they're doing. You know what I mean? They have totally separate goals, totally separate ideas that they're doing. I like how you keep incorporating that your family is behind you there, and not only just behind you, they're with you. They're like, hey, how can I help you? Versus saying, okay, that's you, mom. You go ahead and do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna go do this over here. You know what I mean? Have a totally just a disregard of what you're trying to build, and that comes into like a legacy. Do you feel as your business or all your businesses, or how do you even feel about the word legacy as far as leaving something behind? And this doesn't have to mean that you're dying off anytime soon or anything like that. But you know what I mean? What is this something that you're setting up for? To take over, or for somebody else in the family member to take over? Or
That
how do
was
you
the
see it?
idea. When I started the photo booth business, I thought, hey, my kids can join, they can help. We can always buy another booth. They can run one, I can run one. We can get, share the props, the back. Like my mind was already going ahead. No, my kids have no interest. They have no interest. So the photo booth, I don't see that going anywhere else within the family. But it is something that even if it wasn't a side business, it has even been a blessing in the family to have at our own personal gatherings and being able to have those printed pictures that we no longer do. We normally just keep them on our phone. So this is an instant picture that gets printed out and people keep these as memories. They have them on the refrigerators. It's a lasting memory. And I also make it as an option for them to have a digital copy. So I can't tell you how many times after an event that they reach out to me and say, hey, just wanted to say thank you for sending us that the flash drive from the event because someone, from their celebration had passed on. And they appreciated having those digital copies. So often I keep saying that I'm no longer going to offer the flash drive because it's just added work and I kind of being lazy about it. And yes, it does cost a little out of my pocket, but when I hear that, then it reminds me that I did this not to be selfish with the business. Yes, to help me with a little bit of income, but also to make it possible for others to have it. My pricing is less than other photo booths, and I know it upsets others, but they're doing it as a full-time job. This is as a part-time. So that's another reason why I'm able to do that. And so it just reminds me, like I made it possible for them to be able to have it at their event and then to be able to pass on those pictures as a forever memory. That was the whole reason behind the photo booth. So when you hear those type of stories and memories that we were able to provide that, then that's a blessing too.
All right. All right. That's what you need. You said they started to have interest, but they don't have interest now. Huh? You said a photo. I know we're on the candy craze thing, but the photo booth. You said you have a digital thing that you would have of the event.
So when you take your picture, once your pictures are done, usually it's 3 pictures that you can put on a little photo that comes up that prints out on a photo strip. Once your picture session is done, you have the option to put in your phone number and it'll get text to you. If I set it up, you could do it by email or upload it to your social media. Chances are people don't remember their email. They don't remember their social media login. So I make it very simple, just a phone number. You can put your phone number in, it'll get text to you, and it's exactly as it was when it prints out. So now you have that digital copy, makes it easier to forward it to your friends and family that couldn't attend or to upload it to your social media. So not only that, but those that actually book the photo booth, as a thank you for booking with Fun Photo Booth, I send them a flash drive of all the pictures that were taken at that event. And then I send that to them. So they don't just have the pictures that they took of themselves that night, but they get a picture of everything. And that's what they get to add to their memories.
Okay. Just a little quick,
Wow. I like that.
FYI, other people when we hear what's going on. So I mean, when you said you had your, you have your pleasant distraction. This guy who kind of gets you away from things. Would you say that you have a bucket list, something that you would like to achieve or do, or just vacationing or anything that you can do with more free time on your hands?
Just again, I'm looking forward to the summer. That's my little short bucket list. Just getting out to the beach more, having more of those moments. So I save up my vacation time to mainly use it more during the summertime. So that's right around the corner. I'm looking forward to some time off. But long-term bucket list, I would love to just travel to every state. Just enjoy what we have here in the U.S. Whether it's, what are they known for? Maybe it might be the baseball field or the football stadium or their best foods, whatever it is that state is known for. I would like to go visit and enjoy it. Take advantage of the opportunities that we have here for us.
Right. I guess that's it, huh? I got a little one more question. I'm gonna pass it back to Keith and get ready to close out. I guess. How do you? I think I don't know. I don't think I asked you this earlier, but how do you deal with? I think I asked you about pressure, but how do you deal with the? I like to say that the mentality of having these businesses, working for somebody else, having the energy, dealing with every aspect of, like you were saying, the tables, the dishes. On a mental note, how does that? How do you deal with that? How is that balance work? How do you get through it? Is it what becomes too much pressure and feel like it's driving me crazy? And then how would you deal with it?
I'll be honest. I have my moments. Like, tears just like, I don't know what I'm doing. What's next? I can't get over it. What's the next step? Why do I keep getting thrown challenges? Like, why? And then there's moments where it's like, I know I'm being challenged in every direction. I got this coming up, that coming up, this, and I'm like, I'm throwing everything, and I don't got time to stress and cry or complain. I just pull out my list. This is what I got to do. This is what I got to buy. This is what I got to work on. This, and literally that list is what is keeping me sane. I might wake up in the middle of the night and think of something. I add it to my list, and then I'm able to go right back to sleep. And just start checking it off. Start doing it one at a time. And literally, I need everyone to kind of give me their schedule. People want me to jump up and do something like, hey, we're having a barbecue in 5 minutes. Sorry, I can't do it. You can let me know ahead of time. I will make it work. But last minute stuff, it's a challenge for me. So if I know that, I have things coming up, then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and get it done at 4 a.m. so that I can do everything else. So it's knowing what my schedule is, knowing what I have to work with, and just go from there. You just got to do it. And that's exactly what it is. I tell my kids all the time, you don't have to have 10 hours sleep. You don't have to. So if you have to get 6 hours sleep one night, it's 6 hours sleep. And, in my case, it might be 4 hours. If I have to wake up earlier or go to sleep later to make it happen, then that's what I'm going to do. And I don't ask for help. I'm very stubborn with that. And I know that it bothers a lot of individuals, but those individuals are the ones that know me, and they don't wait for me to ask. They just jump in. They roll up their sleeves and they're here to help. And that's exactly what my mom does. My mom's like, I'm here. But my mom wants to. That's her getting out. That's her way of socializing. And so she looks forward to helping me do these pop-ups or these photo booth events, because it gives her a chance to be out there socializing. And she says she does it just to keep me company. She doesn't want me alone. So I don't ask for help, but these amazing people that I have just roll up their sleeves and say, how can I help? Can I load up your car at least? Can I just help you set up, and I'll leave. And it's just that little bit of support when I least expected, and I didn't realize I needed it until it was there. So I just keep going. People see it. They might see me burned out. They might see me tired. They may not see me smiling as much. They may not see me at all. They just come in and just help. And that's just what keeps me going. I have my moments. I have my moments where I'm like, what am I doing? I'm in over my head. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's going to get me, to the next step. And I don't know. And then all of a sudden things just happen. So I have to stop and remember to pray. I do. And I sometimes I get so overwhelmed and try to figure everything out on my own and forget that it's not for me to do it all on my own. And I think stopping to pray and just letting it be. So even if it doesn't become successful, at least enjoy the journey, right? And I'm enjoying this.
All right. Keith?
Yeah, I think you got your head on your shoulders, as far as being able to swivel to all the things that you're doing in life, and one of the things that you said that was important is to be able to have that balance when people just can't, expect to get you to do something in 5 minutes. If they haven't planned for you to be there, then don't expect you just to jump up and be there in 10, 15 minutes, just because they ask. And people are like that, especially when you start to have these other not challenges, but other things that you have in your life, such as a business and you're an entrepreneur. Everything becomes the management of time. And even your friends say, like, wait a minute, hold up, y'all should have called me yesterday because I can't show up. And so to know that and to not feel as if you got to apologize for it, it's not like you really need to apologize for it. They have to be considered the fact that you got all these other things going on in your life. I wanted to ask you a little bit about, the business aspect. Tell me a little bit about what kind of equipment that you are looking to get in the future, that will help you to be able to produce more, or what kind of stuff you're looking at to move your business in a more productive way.
So with Candy Craze, I definitely know that the packaging is going to make a big difference. So having those already printed Mylar bags with my logo, the ingredients already printed on there. Yes, it's going to take the job away from my mom. I'll find something else for her to do, but already having it printed, it's going to save so much time and it's going to look more professional. So in that, I would definitely, that is something that I'm working towards, having that. Continue to work on Etsy. So it is a shop that is more presentable. I have to update a lot of that information and posting my products, keeping it up to date. But also I'm working on a website. So I want to get towards the website, not necessarily with Etsy, because with Etsy, they take a profit of every sale that you do. So with the website, I'm in full control of it, right? So that's kind of where I'm looking at, not so much product, but more building on the website, updating Etsy, and then getting the packaging printed already. That's where I'm aiming at with that, and then obviously working on the marketing to grow the business.
Yeah, all those things are definitely key points that you got to move up the ladder to get to. You got to be able to have these things as you're building your business. And when we finish the show here, I think you really should get in touch with Razak. He can help you in a lot of ways in doing some of this stuff, and with your website, with your marketing, with your video, with putting these things together, because he does all of the things for this show. So I think you'll be able to get a really good hand in that. So I would suggest that you talk with him after the show and make sure that you guys can get together. One of my other questions is, how do you see your business in the next 5 years?
I would like it to be where it is so steady volume. I'm not looking to to get crazy. I mean, even if I just do 20 orders a day, it's still a good little steady income. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, but I would like it to be where if I can just take one day and do nothing but candy, make it all ahead of time, get in a position where, hey, mom, this is what you can do, when I'm not around, where I don't have to keep like supervising or kind of directing her. My granddaughter, I would love to see my granddaughter kind of jump in and be able to maybe even run it. If I'm not around, she could be the one directing it, because I do have confidence that she'd be able to do it. And so, do I have faith that she can do it? Yeah, I would love to see that happen. I would love to see it grow to a steady volume where my mom can be comfortable and being able to do this freely, and my granddaughter to just be able to do it. If I was to step aside, she can just take over. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, you pray on it, it will come true. All things are possible with God and everything that you do. So you definitely have the will to get it done and to stay focused on it. I'd like to ask you another question here. Here at KF&JF podcast, our whole goal is to kind of like uplift small businesses and bring them out to the forefront, because a lot of them, especially when you're talking about the pop-up tents and everybody getting started and everybody's at different level in their business. So what we're trying to do is put them out there. And I'd like you to be able to tell me about some of the things you see about what we're doing and what we can probably change to make it better, and then your experience so far.
I think what you guys are doing is phenomenal. Starting off as a business, people don't know what all their resources are. Where can they go locally to get assistance? There's in the Inland Empire, I know that there's like a women's business that you guys can jump into to get assistance. Minorities, there's just knowing where to get these resources, knowing how to utilize Facebook groups. So for the Fun Photo Booth, I'm part of all these photo booth groups, and I join them and I learn from them. Joining the freeze dried groups, I learn from them. So knowing what your resources are, knowing where to go. And if you're dealing with any shipping and marketing, you can go to the USPS.com or go to your local post office. Ask the window clerks if you can have a business representative get in contact with you. There's a representative no matter where you're at that is there to help you. They don't work off commission. They're there to help support your business and help you grow. They'll teach you on packaging, best type of services, whether it's Ground Advantage, Priority, helping you to understand that, getting you shipping online so you don't have to go to the retail counter, and helping you save on costs. So there's so many sources out there for everyone to use. It's just knowing the next steps. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed in everything we're doing, making the product or whatever it is that you're doing, that we forget about all the other little things that come with it. So I think just having that list available, what type of business are they doing and what is it that they need? So being able to, where's that resource to help with the website, with Etsy, with TikTok, with social media, growing, whatever the topic is, I think having that list already available, here's your next step then. If this is what you need help with, maybe try, going here to get that assistance. I just think helping with the next step, because sometimes we get stuck. We get overwhelmed and not knowing where to go from there.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that's part of the process here, with the podcast, is building this networking team. All of these people that are on the show, different businesses, different levels in their business, and we want people to be able to connect, because that's kind of like what we find that works. If you know somebody that's in small business, in the same business that you're in, and oh wow, I want to learn how they did that, or what did they do to stay in business, to keep their mental their head together on all the different things. They got kids, they got all these different issues. So coming to the podcast and looking at some of those other shows, I'm telling you, you'll find something and you'll learn something from that. So I want to also a couple of questions I have left before I go, and that one of them is, what excites you now? What is your What's the exciting thing for Diane right now? What's exciting? Come on, I know you got something that's just like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's cooking tonight or it's just getting out for the weekend. What is the exciting thing you're looking forward to right now?
I do enjoy cooking. I really do. Being able just to take that time out. I put my music on in the background. Gotta have my music. Having a nice refreshment next to me, enjoying the cooking, and knowing like I have a good home cooked meal because I'm tired. I don't want to have to get ready. I don't want to have to go out. But to have that home cooked meal, and being able to share that, with whatever leftovers or whatever I have, company come over, that's my enjoyment, making other people happy. Making other people happy makes me happy.
That's right.
Hey,
enjoying being in service.
That sounds like a good cook. That sounds like a good cook right there. Someone that's willing to make other people happy, and have that smiling time. But what's your music? What are you listening to sometimes? What is some of that music like?
It varies.
Your jazz, your rockers, your everything.
Everything. And it depends. Do I have company? Do I not?
Okay.
So sometimes I might be that old school. Sometimes it's Motown. Sometimes it's country. Sometimes it's my spiritual music. Sometimes it's Spanish and I don't even understand what they're saying.
Oh, man.
But it's just all the mood. It's just whatever the mood is. And if I have company over, I tell them they're the DJ. Like you guys are the DJ. Take over the music.
Right.
Whatever the moment is, I enjoy it all.
That's crazy. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do to make yourself happy. I like you to take this time right here to, sometimes there's stuff that we forget to ask in these interviews and things that you may want to get across to, not only to us, but also the viewers out there. And then I want you to be able to say the name of your business, how people can get a hold of you, and what else you would like to say out to the audience that'll be listening.
Freeze Dried Candy. It's new, right? Just try it. That's all I can say. It's just something, a different experience. Don't be open-minded. A lot of people are like, I'm not big on candy, or, oh, I don't like this candy. But yet when they try a freeze-dried, then you get a whole different expression. So always keep an open mind. And I think that goes in everything in life, right? Candy Craze, it's freeze-dried candy. I only have it available on Etsy or if I show up at a pop-up. But anyone is welcome to message me. If they have a special request, I could probably fill it. But you can message me through Etsy, and it is Candy Craze by Diane. .etsy.com, and I have Fun Photo Booth, and it's FUNFOTO booth, and you can go to the website funphotobooth.net, and I serve the Inland Empire, mainly San Bernardino and Riverside County. Fun, memorable events. I would like to say for people to support small businesses. During the pandemic, it was a very strong message being there that a lot of businesses didn't survive. They had to shut their doors because they couldn't stay alive. And these big chain stores, they were able to pull it off, ordering through websites because that's what people already knew them. Supporting a small business, you don't know what it means to them and how you're helping them. It could be their only means. The fact that they're working and trying, I say support a small business before going through these big chain stores. It makes a big difference. And in my case, it's helping my son go to school, and it's helping me raise my granddaughter as well. Fun Photo Booth, again, funphotobooth.net to order your photo booth rental for any events, help memorable events, and Candy Craze, fill that sweet tooth. Life is short, make it sweet. Candy Craze by Diane.etsy.com. And I do appreciate you guys supporting us.
Welcome.
Well, here at KF&JF Podcast, one of the things is that we really appreciate you taking the time to come on. You taking the time out your day, and here's been all this time we spent together, and it's just straight to our heart. You're helping us, and I hope that we can be able to help you as well in everything that you're doing. We're hoping that your business succeed, and we're looking forward to you coming back on and showing us some of the new stuff that you've done, or some of the updates that you have, going forward. And I really, really do appreciate everything that you said, and I'm looking forward to tasting that candy, man. I can't wait to do that, brother. I know I'm going to see you at other pop-up tents that you're going to be out there. I'm going to go out there and be, checking out all these different places. And again, I thank you so much for coming on. And
sounds like a future podcast of you just trying everybody's product, So I look forward to seeing that one.
That sounds like something to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, my stomach can handle it. I'm a diabetic, so just to let you know, I have to make sure I do this right. I take my I eat it all at once, and then
sounds like I have to limit how much I ship to you. Is that what you're saying?
No,
don't do that. I only said that to be friendly. But no, please do not limit anything.
I heard it loud and clear.
I can take it.
Yeah. He's going to share that bag. He's going to share that bag.
One every hour or something. 20. Yeah, we can share the bag. There you go.
I don't think. How do we have to go to your website for like a Cash App or something? How do you receive payment?
So Etsy, you can make your payment through Etsy. And then if you were to message me, then yes, I have Square, so I can always send you a link for payment as well if it wasn't something that was on Etsy. So example, if I was at a pop-up, I could still do a charge through Square. And then through the website for the photo booth, same thing, you make payment there, or you can send it through Zelle, Cash App. So yeah, I make it possible, and I can send you, that way you still get your receipts through Square as well. So everything is legit. You get a receipt for it all.
See, because that, this is like, as you said earlier too, sometimes by talking to you guys, the vendors and small business, you're also educating me and the viewers of other things and other ways to maintain and our business, because I'm throwing out Cash App, but there's some other things that you have that nobody, I can't really recall anybody saying before. So that's another way of getting a domain, of getting a website and stuff like that. So a lot of people, we're here to help you, but also talking to you, the information that we get from you also helps us, as well as it helps the other people who are other business owners and people of that nature. My last little thing I would like to say is that, actually it's a question, is, I don't know if we asked you this already, but what would you like to say as inspiration or motivation for somebody who is trying to get into your profession?
Research. Don't give up. Don't take negative comments. Just be mindful, hear them, but doesn't mean that they know. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. Someone's made it happen, so it doesn't mean that it can't be you. Right. So just depends on how much energy and strength and mindset that you're willing to give. Remember that nothing is success overnight, and but it can happen, So just being mindful of it. That's all. Just be mindful of it. Learn as much as you can. And it may not be from your neighbor. It may not be from your sister, and might not be from your best friend, but jumping in on these groups or learning of these small businesses that are around you to learn from, you're going to learn a lot, and you will be able to make your own decision if you can make it happen. But anything is possible. Anything is possible. And if you really want it, go for it.
You really want to go for it. And I like how it's not going to be overnight, and it might be a couple of months, might be a year, but it's going to get off the ground. And as long as you have people like, me, I enjoy the podcast. I like interacting with the people who we didn't know pretty much existed. You know what I mean? A lot of these companies, if we didn't know to go search for you on the internet, you know what I mean, we wouldn't know. Or if we didn't go to the events, that's the thing I liked about your friend or your mom who took the kids out and made the money. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's just as simply as that. It's not knowing if that you exist, you know, and once people do know that you exist, and with having people that already in existence, don't mean that they're better. Don't mean that they got the best flavor. Don't mean that they're the most creative. You know what I mean? You got a lot of like you were saying, a lot of I like to look at it as buying in. Yeah, you can buy into a franchise store, you know what I mean, and you're selling the same thing that anybody else is selling, you know what I mean. But at the same time, when you have the mom and pop shops, you know what I mean, that pop up, you know, candy businesses, you know what I mean, all these different shops that are not well known, it's just a matter of reaching out to the people who are so stuck into the mindset of the big names, you know what I mean, because those are the ones on the commercials. Those are the ones that's okay. You drive down the street, you got this big old building that you can go to, you know what I mean. But it doesn't mean that is a better quality place to go to. It just means that that's the most known place to go to. You know what I mean. I could find way more better clothing and everything because some of these more expensive, fancier brands. You know, but it's just a name on it. You know, it's just a designer's name, and this outrageous price tag. But you know, some of the people that we have, you know, interviewed, we got Keith has a clothing line, you know what I mean. So it's like, you know, it just depends on what you're able to accept as what is you, and not what is the ongoing trend because some athlete has it on or some movie star, you know, some musician has it on and they look good in it. So you're spending all your time and all your money, your energy to get something that you've seen somebody else have who's has millions of dollars to buy all this stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like doing these things, and I support you, and I hope we're able to do big things with you and include you into our progress as a podcast.
No, I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing for all entrepreneurs. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Thank you too. You have a great day. And make sure you cook something good.
You as well. I got to go pack a couple of candy orders to send to you now.
Yeah. All right. No problem. No problem. We'll talk to you soon. We'll give you a call. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.